Sportageous. Sport gets smarter.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Sportageous Cast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow wherever you're watching or tuning in from. Our guests today are the founders of the Padel matchmaking and community app, Padel Mates, Daniel Dawood and Josef Badro. Welcome to the show, guys. How's it going?
Thank you. It's good here. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's always great to connect with people from the other side of the world. So it's good to have you guys here. Really excited to, sort of talk about Padel and hear your story. So on that note, I guess just starting off, tell me a little bit about your own stories and your backgrounds and how you sort of got involved in the Padel world and what you do outside of this world and so on.
Thank you. Yes. So, we started, me and Josef are friends a long time ago, and I've been involved in different sports. Well, basically, we started with football and tennis, and then Padel came, the boom came to Sweden, and then we, of course, started to try it by ourselves. And then it became a big interest for us. So that's how we came involved in the sport in the first place.
Right. And do you guys have some sort of like tech background, anything of that sort?
Well, basically not the tech background, but a master in industrial management and Josef in sales.
Yeah, but we have always like been we want to like become something, and like we have many idea that we have talking through, and we want to do it, but we love the paddle. Then we come with this idea because we had a problem to find another people to play with. Then we become with this idea, and then we told each other we have to give 100% to make this happen, and it was Padel Mates.
Yeah, that's amazing. And look, I'm just going to get into Padel Mates, but I do want to ask before that because Daniel, you raised an interesting point where you said, you did football, tennis, a bunch of different sports. So how and why Padel?
I mean, basically, Padel, it's a little bit different from other sports. It's more a social sport. That's one thing. It's sport for everyone. So even if you haven't tried a sport before, it's very easy to start with compared, for example, with tennis, which basically you need maybe 30 times until you feel it's fun. But Padel is basically for everyone, all ages, and you can start and you can have fun from the first time. So that's one aspect. And the other aspect is that the feeling that you always develop in Padel, like you have the feeling that you improve from time to time, which is basically a little bit harder in other sports. But in Padel, you feel like, okay, there is some improvement. And that's why you somehow stick with it for a long time. You feel the development all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the best things with Padel, that unlike tennis or squash, it's not extremely complicated, doesn't take a lot of time to learn, and you just get straight into it. So coming to Padel Mates, you both have your different roles, obviously what you do within the organization, but where did the obviously idea come from? You did touch on that a little bit. Where is it now, and what is the platform all about? This is for both of you.
Yeah, I mean, we started during the summer. So basically, we started to play a little bit more than our friends, me and Josef, and felt like, okay, it's because Padel, you need to be 4 people to play compared to other sports. Maybe basically tennis, you could play 1 against 1. But at Padel, you need to be four players. And so we felt that, okay, we need to find people to play with. And then it's always starts with chatting with different people and trying to make it happen, the game. But then we thought, okay, there is a need, actually. We are not the only one that wants to match people at the right level, because there is it's a little bit hard with the levels at Padel. You never know where you are because it's not so established with the levels.
Yeah.
So we thought, okay, we can do something about it. And as Joseph mentioned, we have worked with different ideas before, but that felt, okay, there is a real need here. We can actually bring value to the players that want to learn, not only find opponents, but also find opponents at the right level. So that has basically been the main thing that we wanted to solve. So we just started after the summer 2020 and gave it 300% of our time. We just believed in it because we saw the demand and we needed it personally, of personal use. So we just started and building it and tried to make it as scalable and as usable for everyone, actually, not only in Sweden. So the platform is built to be used in all the countries already day one. And,
sure. Yeah. So essentially, what you're saying is that you're available in a larger sort of global level. Currently, your user base, what is it like? Where are people accessing the app? It's obviously very, very new, if I'm not mistaken. As you said, still a lot to happen. But where are sort of the users from at this point in time, and what are you sort of hoping for in the longer term?
Well, I mean, we started here in Sweden first, but we had different languages in the app. So basically, we started to build it more like the matchmaking as the main part of the platform, and then later we added the content, which is basically news, so you can write, check the news and videos. And most of the users, I would say 90%, is in Sweden. And then we have also already started in Italy, Belgium, Holland, Spain. We see that centers are promoting the platform in different countries without us knowing. They have just heard about it and they have checked by themselves and they see, okay, this platform can actually add value to my center. So it has been activated in many centers, especially in Europe, I would say. But of course, most part, I would say 90% is from Sweden. So it has actually been very rapid growth since we started, and we didn't expect that amount of user in that short time. So we just believed in it and kept developing week in, week out to make it even more flexible and more usable for all the countries.
I just want to flick in from the beginning. We just wanted to make it in Sweden, and then we was thinking, okay, we have to make it outside the whole world. So me and Daniel manually put all locations like centers in the app. So today we have 3,800 centers in the app and 9 different languages. So we was always thinking big. We was always thinking outside outside Sweden. But we are from here and we begin from here. Then we're gonna go outside the. As we are getting now, we get many texts from USA. We got you and from the whole Europe. They want to use it because it's good for the centers because they get more people to know each other in every center. So that was also why it succeed.
Yeah, look, I think that's fantastic. And it's obviously very important that, you start from your home ground and then sort of branch out from there and build things. But look, I think I'm a firm believer of the idea that, when a few mates get together and start thinking through things, genius happens. So look, kudos to you guys. So, you talked about the matchmaking side of things. Can you expand on that a little bit? So what does that involve? What makes it unique when it comes to Padel Mates and sort of finding or matching with those with other players of your level?
Well, I think matchmaking in general is not as easy as it looks, because it's a lot of parts that needs to be in the process in order to make it happen. So it has to be practical, not only like the idea of matchmaking. So we worked a lot of the details of the matchmaking, like we checked the behavior of the player, like not thinking of the center perspective, thinking of the player perspective, and that it has to be as practical as possible so everyone can actually use it without explaining. But I would say the most part, with all the notifications we have, that is more very specific for you, that you get only relevant notifications, that you can decline, accept, etc. That the most successful part, I would say, the rating system we created in the matchmaking, that after each game, all the players rate each other. And that has been been the standard on how to explore your own level, because today the only way to know is that you by yourself set your own level, which is basically hard, and there is overestimation in the community of paddle, but I don't think it's the players' fault. It's more that the system itself is hard to determine if you are a 5 out of 10, if you are 6 out of 10. So what we thought is that the best way to go from that is actually that everyone rates everyone, and that will make an equal system. So that becomes your own average in your profile. That's, I think, basically the most used part of the platform, because you know that you will spend 2 hours in a competitive game, and not meeting opponents that are much better or much worse than you.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Sorry, Joseph, did you have something to add to that?
No, I just wanted to add, it's easy because if you go inside the app and then you choose your location where you play, your centers, then you got the notifications from the centers you have like favorite, and then we have games near you. So let's say you go to Sydney, and then you just go into the app and see games near you, and the level is more relevant to you, and then you just join, and the creator just accepts you, and then you have a game. That's what makes it easy. We have two things that make it easier for the user. One is your favorite location where you play, where your centers is, and then let's say you go to Australia, to Sydney, and want to play, you have games near you. So that's the things and also the level, what Daniel mentioned.
Yeah, I think that's great. And so then is it that it automatically or organically starts matching people with the same level, so out of your ranking system, or how does that process work?
Well, basically, you will create a game and you want to find opponents. Let's say you create a game in Paddle Center A, and you want level 5. So when you create that game, this game will be suggested to all the users that have Center A as favorite center and have level 5. So it goes only to the relevant people or the relevant player, and then they get notification, and then they will request to join. So you might get 10 requests, and there you can either accept or decline, and you can decline with your own text. So you can maybe explain why you decline, or maybe it's become so fast. So what we try to aim is to match within few minutes. That's always the goal, that it should be matched within few minutes, as long as we have players that have a specific center that multiple, like more than 100 players in the same center, then it should be a game in a few minutes. So when you get a notification, you know that this is interesting for you, and not like games that very like far away from where you live.
Yeah, that is awesome. I think exactly the sort of thing that that the sport needs, and with all the growth going in, you really jump well into that market. And for everyone watching and listening, be sure to check out Padel Mates on their social media, which will be in the link in the description or caption below this conversation, whether or not you're watching or listening. So be sure to check out Padel Mates. Go and follow these guys. Get in touch with Daniel or Joseph if you think there's something that you guys can do to engage with them. Guys, next up, Sweden, Padel, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's got his own paddle centers over there. Tell me about it. The sport is growing rapidly there, right?
Yeah, I mean, Sweden is number one in terms of the growth of number of courts. So it's opening new centers all the time, but it started also a few years ago. So now we have came to a level that we have a lot of centers in Sweden, more than I would say most of the countries. And so Sweden has been very interesting for many paddle players and paddle businesses, I would say, to be in. And of course, I mean, Zlatan has his own centers in specific areas, but I would say there is a lot more centers in Sweden, and it's growing huge. And we see that also the other Nordic countries are coming now. They are just a few years behind, but they are coming.
Also, like we are hosting in Malmo, we are hosting the big tournament, World Padel Tour. They are coming here to Malmo, and we will host like one of the biggest tournament in Sweden. I think it's good paddle because everyone is playing, and it's like good for your physical, and you have like something to like how can I tell you, like I was playing, then I met someone in the dressing room, and he was like, I have like been how do I say Sefran Mimut? This
Looking for.
Yeah, I have like been looking for this moment just to play and enjoy the paddle. So here everyone loves it, everyone play it, and the people who don't have played, they try it, and they just get in love with this amazing sport.
Yeah, I think it's because it's social sport also. Like people all, as Joseph said, is looking for playing all the time. And I would not say it's only hype for a couple of years, because you get your training, so you got that part, but also you got the social aspect of it. It's fun to play with other people. So I think the combination of both, plus that you feel you develop in the sport, you get new mates, and you got your training also. So that's why I think that that sport will stay forever. And we are just in the beginning, I would say. Padel is even though it's passing tennis in some parts of the world, but it's just started. Many players haven't even tested paddle, and that's, I see, is somehow our responsibility also from Padel Mates, that we want to make sure to make it easy and accessible for everyone, that okay, you have the interest, but you don't have mates. to play with, and that's where we come in, trying to make it as easy to try out and test and find new mates. And we got a lot of emails all the time, people like thanking us for finding new mates, and that people have developed their own paddle because of you meet different opponents all the time. So that's give us a lot of energy to continue.
Yeah, look, I love the name, and I thought, when I first saw the name, I was like, are you sure these guys aren't in Australia? Because we use mate all the time. so I think the name's really well suited for this market over here as well. Look, what you guys are doing is awesome, and I can see the sort of passion that you guys obviously have for it as well. Just before we conclude things, Daniel and Joseph, what is your sort of vision and aim for the future of Padel Mates? Where do you sort of want to take it? Where do you see yourselves? And of course, I'll ask that question afterwards, but let's first, tell me a little bit about that vision.
Yeah, I mean, we will add a few more features in the platform. So we have developed over the matchmaking over a year. So we are already in the pipeline 2 more functionalities that also adding value in that chain. So we see that, okay, you play against other people in the matchmaking part, but we see that we could do even more with the functionality as we have more the baseline and the users. And I would say all the development has been based on the players' feedback. It's the players' app. That's how we see it. And we really have only developed based on the feedback. So that's how all the features came in place, and that we want to use as it's community, still a community, Padel community. So we want to still continue to add features that add value. So we have 2 more features that we see will complete our platform, and we will expand to other countries. I mean, we already exist in other countries, and but of course we want to focus also. We want to make sure that we develop in our own country first. But it's already in use in other countries in specific centers. And that's very nice. But we will still continue to work on the Swedish market, and we will also see if there are possibilities outside that there is interest. We got emails from different centers all the time, so we try to make it accessible and explain and give them material to activate their own center. So like all the centers are welcome to contact us if they want to activate their own center. And we will add 2 other functionalities in the platform to make the whole flow and add more value to the players.
And I will say our vision is if we say it to 2-3 years, we will be like everywhere. We want to be in the whole Europe, and then go to USA, Australia. Why not? And give this amazing service to the people that always want to play paddle, but don't have someone to play with. I think this one, I just love it, because there is always people who wants to play, and maybe their friends, they are not interested. Then you can always find your mates because of this app. So that's the big part I love, and we are passionate about it. It's like we feel good because we got many emails okay, I have got many friends, thanks for you. And that's the passion that me and Daniel works for.
And also the vision, of course, that Padel Mates is established in all the big cities, and that you have that kind of Uber for paddle. That's the thing, and it's already happening. I would say it's already happening in Sweden, that when you now with Corona time, everyone is staying in Sweden and traveling around Sweden, and we see that the movement that people actually travel to another city and jump into game in another city, and that effect, that's what we want. I mean, we want to make it accessible in all the especially the big cities where Padel is established. Make that like mobility of the app to be used not only within Sweden and specific like areas in Europe, but also in all the other areas. So you want to play, just open the app, jump in a game close to you, that's it. So that's the vision.
And for everyone watching and listening, how can they sort of get the app? Where do they find it? How can they follow you on social media? I'll let you guys share that as well.
Yeah, I mean, we are, it's the same name, Padel Mates, on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. And the app is accessible in all the countries. And it's nine languages in the app. And we try to add all the centers possible. So it's a manual job, but we do it. And we have most of the centers in the world, but there is still, it's opening all the time. So if you feel that you want to add a center in the app, just contact us, info@padelmates.sc, or just try it through the app, the customer support. We will add the center immediately, and you find it, Padel Mates, on App Store and iOS and the Android.
Yeah, so for like I said, for everyone watching and listening, be sure to head to the description or caption below, where all the links and details around Padel Mates will be there. Daniel, Joseph, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to both of you. Really looking forward to your success at Padel Mates, seeing it grow, and seeing hope to see it here in Australia as well. We actually don't have a single court in Canberra, so I can't even play. I have to go 2.5 hours to Sydney, where I can find the closest court at the moment. So
hopefully it opens the center. But if you travel, make sure you have the app in your mobile.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.